Hey, this is Russell, and I work at the video store. I love this job because when the store is quiet, I get to watch movies and series and talk about them with my best friends that work here. Interesting people also pop in to rent something all the time. Each week, we can help you figure out what you could be watching on streaming platforms and out in cinemas. All right, let's do it. Let's open up the shop.
Did you see that thing yesterday on the TV? It was ready, interesting!
All right, top of the morning. Welcome back. Here we are, back at work.
Right.
How are you guys?
All right, Russell.
Good.
We've got Graeme with us today. How's it?
Hi.
And we've got Marigold.
Hello.
And we have got 2024. Welcome back. We missed you guys. We had ourselves a nice little break. Even the video store needs to take a little break. But we are rested somewhat. I have hit the ground coughing in 2024. But it is lovely to be here and lovely to do another year of just great chats, interesting guests, great movies, great shows, and we are here to help you figure out what to watch.
Yeah.
Today on the show, we have Arno Carstens, who is legendary singer, songwriter, frontman of the Springbok New Girls, and also solo career in his own right, a very talented artist, and an all-around interesting dude.
Yeah.
He he performed at the Bioscope, so it was a chance to have a chat ahead of that.
Cool.
So we're going to get into that in a moment. And then for all of those who are joining us for the first time, please stick around for after that chat with Arno, where the three of us are going to talk about the movies that we've watched recently.
Yeah.
And the films that we're loving. And here we are to help you figure out what you can watch.
Cool.
I want us to pick a film that we can all watch together. And over the course of the week, we can be chatting about it. So we're going to get into that and pick that film at the end of the chat. As the video store, we also have some tickets to give away. There is a special screening of the film The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. Nice little action romp.
Yeah.
And that is going to be taking place on the 25th of Jan. And over on our social media, we'll have some tickets to give away.
Cool.
And this is always quite fun. And Marigold, you remember this? We did this with Talk to Me, where we get given some tickets for these pre-screenings, and we give them away to you guys, the listeners, the customers of the video store, and we get to hang out.
Yeah.
We get to meet you. We can there's some things to give away, and then we have a good little movie romp, and we have a fat jaw.
Cool.
So I think that'll be fun. It'll be nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
So look out for that on our Instagram. But I think we should just get straight into it.
Yes, we should.
All right. Have you guys got some stuff to do? We've opened up our shop for the year. Is there stuff to keep you guys busy?
I mean, everything's really dusty. We've been closed for a few weeks.
Okay. So you guys do a little dusting, and Arno's going to pop in. All right. Let's do this. This is Arno Carstens popping in to rent something. All right. How's it?
How are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
I am the same as yesterday,
Okay.
the day before that,
Yeah.
and the day before that.
Okay. And these days, you're good.
Yeah.
You up in Joburg to perform here at the Bioscope, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
First time you've ever performed here, and it's an honor to have you.
Thank you very much. It's my first time at the Bioscope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are your feelings to Joburg? Cape Town's home?
Well, for me, Joburg was home for 5 years.
Okay. At what point?
Years ago? A couple of years ago. So I moved my first house was in Orange Groovy. We used to flip houses. So that is how long ago it was. It was when the economy was flippable.
Okay, that was a thing that you did.
Yeah,
with
on the side. Me and my wife.
You and your wife.
Buy cheapy houses and flip them.
Do you watch the show The Block?
No, because it makes me sad because I can't flip houses anymore, so I don't want to watch it.
It's just about to come back, because we get it like a year later. I think it happens around the world, but the Australian block is by far the best because I think the Australians make the best.
So they
reality TV
rebuild
show.
houses.
So the block is couples. So people of two. It could be a husband and wife, or it could be a father and a daughter, or it could be two friends. But teams of two have to renovate houses. They have different ones each season. Maybe it's like a block of flats, or maybe they get their own standalone house. But it is awesome, and it is so much fun.
It's amazing. I love doing it. Well, my wife is the one who does it, right?
What do you enjoy in the process?
I don't like that, and I don't like that.
Okay. What style choices or like architectural
You know what?
stuff?
All our houses has been very white, and white floors, everything white, because I do love that feeling of being in a cloud.
Okay.
Kind of very clean.
And you're an artist, so do you see that as being like a gallery space to you? Does it feel gallery-esque to you?
Well, it creates space as well. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, now I'm in a different house. But that was my Joburg house. Everything was white, and also actually, and now I'm by the beach.
Lovely.
The sea.
Lovely.
But that is a different vibe again, because it's much of an older house. It's got actually a dome for roof,
Oh, that's cool.
because it was built by a guy whose wife was a pianist.
Okay.
Yes, and what is crazy is in lockdown I lost my house, but I'm paying rent now.
Okay.
And the guy who bought my house is actually a professor here from Joburg, and he's a world famous bass guitarist.
Okay. Who's that?
Carlo
Mombelli.
Yes.
Yeah. Carlo Mombelli.
Yes,
No,
so-
Carlo's amazing. Yeah.
So he's going to retire in 2 years, and then he's going to come and live in my house.
Okay.
So,
That's lovely. But you say you lost your house in
Yeah.
COVID. You had to give it up.
well, things were already before the time quite tough, the
Sure.
economy.
Jesus, for all of
And
us.
if
yeah.
you've been flipping houses, there was a time that came where you could just not get over that end of the month.
Yeah.
Everything just went too high, and then it started with COVID. It was just the
Nail in the coffin.
yeah. So, but it was actually a good thing. It ripped off the bandage, and what it meant is we've got no more debt, which is amazing. I feel like 21. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got no more debt. I didn't like I somehow didn't like what the banks were doing.
Yeah.
So I try and keep my money out of the banks now.
Yeah.
And I put it all into crypto, decentralized. I don't like governments.
Okay.
So I'm one of those people.
But crypto has now got all its
You know what?
shit
It's
on
money.
it now.
It's so little money that I've put in there.
Okay.
It's the last bit I've got left.
Oh god.
So I don't really care for it.
Okay.
I've just
okay.
put it there.
Okay.
I'm not taking it out. I'm selling NFTs and ordinals of my paintings.
Okay. That's
And
cool.
that is all. I'm getting dollars, and I'm
Oh,
putting
that's
it
cool.
right in there.
How
But
much?
I can't say South Africa is a place for you to put money right now.
Perhaps not.
No.
How much of your own personal economy is music? How much of it is art?
Get good months. I've had a couple of months where I made more money through art than music.
Okay.
But
it's
music is still my music is what I do every weekend.
Yeah.
Or
And-
mostly we play. You guys work during the week, or not you, but
Yeah, yeah.
most guys work during the week. We work over weekends.
Yeah. Totally.
We've got 3 days to make money. You've got 5.
And for myself, who has always been running the Bioscope and being in Short Straw, I work 7 days.
Short Straw was awesome.
Yeah, I'm the bassist.
No way.
Yeah.
You won't believe it. I did an interview years ago when I was in the UK with this guy at a festival. And eventually I said, but aren't you the lead singer of King? And there was a band in the 80s called King.
Yeah.
Love and pride, the earth will die. Love and pride. Awesome song.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was the lead singer. And now he does interviews with people.
Yeah. No, so my main thing has always been the cinema and always been in bands and loved that. So we, as you said, this is what made it so tough, is that we would do these things during the week and then at night be in a band. And so you can only burn that candle when you're in your 20s and 30s.
Yes.
It's now, we're not playing as much as a band anymore
No,
because
well-
we all have lots of other things that we love.
Which is
and
good
do. Yeah.
if you've got that.
But,
But there's a lot of
um,
other bands like Taxi Violence and Aching. They just kind of they just stop because there's no more venues.
Sure.
For instance, I used to have a full band.
Yeah.
Now I don't anymore. I've got a
As
three-piece.
Arno Carstens, yeah.
The Nude Girls is still a 5-piece, but I
Yeah.
mean the Nude Girls make way more money than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You will always Rolling Stones will always make more money than Mick Jagger.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just the way it is, isn't it?
But it was lovely to see your solo stuff come out and blossom as well.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, this is what I've always been doing. The Nude Girls. So, I mean, I was always on my own writing songs.
Yeah.
So when the Noodles broke up, I thought, well, I'm either going to start a band called Skullfuckers.
Okay. That was the lead.
That was the
That was the
band,
name in the running?
Skullfuckers.
Okay.
And that's going to be a more screaming, more heavy. And I thought, why? You've been doing it for 7 years. So kind of do your own thing. And
Yeah.
then I just did that. And
But it's nice that we still have Nude Girls.
Yeah, 5 years later, we sort of got back together again because we just missed it.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to I love Smart List, the podcast. And I was
Yes.
listening to, they interviewed R.E.M.,
Yeah.
Michael Stipe.
Yeah.
And if I were them, my one question would have been, don't you miss doing it?
Yeah.
Don't you miss singing that songs?
Yeah.
Every band's got its own energy
Yeah.
and everything. So, I mean, if you don't have to give it up,
But it was cool that, I mean, were there differences that you had to put aside, or how did it end badly?
the Nude Girls, look, we got the opportunity to move to New York, and I was already 27. I think I was the oldest in the group. And Arno Bloomer, the bassist, had a wife and a kid.
Yeah.
And we just thought, and we were, I think, drugs. I wasn't aware of Theo's heroin problem, although I
Yeah.
was around him all the time. I didn't see it.
Amazing how that can
Eventually,
happen.
I saw his eyes roll back in his head, and I thought, what's going on?
Shit.
But, and so it was a good thing that it ended because somebody would have died, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, the fuck off guys also talk about that, where they're like, I can't believe we're still all alive.
Yeah. So, but now Theo's a different guy. He's pulled through. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the other people, like Adrian, is in San Francisco. He's
Okay.
married to a guy there. We don't see him ever again. So, I mean, he's definitely out of the band.
Yeah.
Also, and then Bloomer's got a wife again. They live in London, and
Okay.
you know, so
But-
they
but
are.
yeah,
But now
you-
we got two new guys in, and they've brought in a lot more younger, fresher energy, and they can actually sing with,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just nice to have a different energy. In
Yeah.
the
No,
band.
and I know that our one guitarist made the call to move to London, and we very much supported it because we wanted his career to take
of
off.
course.
And we've had this other friend of ours fill in, and it's been so cool to have this more objective
yeah.
voice come in and go, oh, like you guys are really punctual and great at band practice, because all my other bands, nobody likes to practice. It's like, it's so interesting getting this objective view that you thought was normal and someone could help you.
No, we got our bassist, Sergio Miguel de Oliveira Vervatos.
Great name.
Yes, so he is he's into IT, and he's got his own company. I mean, I think he makes a lot of money
Yeah.
because whenever we go for little tours or whatever, he pays for breakfast, and so he's my favorite guy in the band.
Okay.
So you got to have a guy that's got his own job or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But then you also know that he's with you just for passion. He's not there to
Yes, exactly.
to
And
get
then-
the bread. Yeah.
And then David, who plays with me in my solo capacity for years now, is actually the only musician who can play trumpet with the one hand and keyboards with the other hand.
Wild.
So that's why he's the Nude Girls, because Adrian used to do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, it's great to have you, and I'm excited for this show. And thank you for taking the time now to have a quick chat. We like to talk about the films that you've loved. Yeah.
Can I, just before we start? So
Yes.
my drummer in my solo capacity, Werner von Waltze Lieben,
Lovely.
is a movie fundi. Him and his
Okay.
wife, right?
Okay.
So whenever me and him and David come on tour, we try and do our shows early enough so we can still go for movies.
Okay. Go to the cinema.
So yeah, so that is our thing. Because none of
That's
us
lovely.
drink anymore. We always.
Okay. I was about to say, are you sober?
I've been 6 years.
Okay.
I just gave up. A guy asked me 2 days ago to give them to say something to the people at AA
Yeah.
about how I can help them, kind of thing. And I wrote something, but then I realized yesterday
Yeah.
I was never in AA. What am I talking about? I'm probably saying the stuff that gets said every day to them.
Yeah.
And so I'm a bit ignorant when it comes to
So
it.
you never needed a program.
No, because I knew I was going to die, so it was a very easy decision. Now, I must still just get to that point about smoking.
Sure, one step at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, one day at a time. That's literally the AA.
It's very easy to stop things when you know you're going to die.
Well, that's amazing because the hardest part for addicts is you figuring it out yourself, because it ultimately has to come down to you. Like, your friends and family can have all these interventions, but it really comes down to you. So for you, it was something you did personally. You were just able
It
to
was just
stop.
loads of drunken nights and stuff, and it just over the years, the darkness and
Yeah. And you got a kid, hey?
yeah,
Yeah. No, and you start living for them.
yeah.
Okay, so you always go and watch movies. You go to the cinema.
Yeah, we go to the cinema, and well, I just love good stories.
Lovely. So we think here at the video store that the films you've loved have made you who you are today. So we've got the 4 major film categories, which are your film loves. And so these are the films that you've loved across your life. The first film is your puppy love film, which is the fun, innocent film that comes to you primary school, nursery school.
I think the movie, my favorite, that has made the biggest impression on me in my younger days,
Yeah.
is Superman the movie
Okay.
with Christopher Reeve.
Lovely. Okay.
Yes.
There are great stories about how they put that film together, because it was by far the first superhero movie. I think it came before Batman. Before the Tim Burton Batmans.
Well, but
Yeah.
I mean, they had these weird Batmans.
Yeah.
Kind of psychedelic
But
Batman.
it was a big deal that they were going to make the Superman movie. And you'd love this, before they even shot a scene, they rented these boats in Cannes, and out in the water, on the back of each boat was each letter that spelt the word Superman. And they just left that in the French Riviera in the water for the whole of Cannes to see, to advertise the fact that they were going to make Superman.
Interesting.
It's cool, eh?
Yesterday,
But it was a roll of the dice. They hadn't shot anything. They were just trying to build hype, get people talking about it, to get the film off the ground.
So yesterday, just by the way, yesterday I did an interview for TV, South Africa, and the guy who was interviewing me was actually for 20 years in America doing acting,
Okay.
and he went for the audition for the Superman,
Cool.
the one Henry Cavill.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Can you believe it? I was like looking, I was like, dude, did you go for the Superman thing? I'm like, yes. I'm like,
Did he
Superman's
look
my
like
favorite.
Superman? Was he handsome?
He does look. He's a very good looking guy. Yeah. He looked like,
Okay. So what was Superman for you? Just the fantasy of it?
the alien part, becoming human, the clothes, the strength. When the little boy lifts up the car, the crystals.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's the same why I make my houses white. I love the colors. The same as Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I love the. They had this weird red, this intense red, this very beautiful blue. Now the Batman and Superman, the superhero colors are very darkish.
Yes. Yes.
Where
They
in the
were-
70s it was very shocking and awesome, and I loved it.
Okay.
So the look of it, I don't know. I
just
just
the
love the
fantasy
character,
of
the
it, yeah.
fantasy, everything. Yeah.
It's Superman is a little Jesus when you think about it.
Well,
He comes to Earth.
Yeah, he is what humans. We Stan Lee and all those guys, when they created these guys, I think Superman was the ultimate one. But
Yeah.
it is also a spiritual projection of
Yeah.
humanity.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
what
they-
is your ultimate person? Well, he can fly, he's stronger than, faster than a bullet. He's got laser eyes, and
Yeah.
so you can write a whole thesis on this.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot behind the guys writing those comic books were Jewish immigrants escaping the Holocaust.
Oh, right.
And
I was never really aware of that.
Yeah, I became more aware of it much later. And
I became much more aware of the fact later that Superman had the American flag colors and
heck, yeah.
Captain America. It was very American orientated, and that kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Sure.
But then eventually I go, well, there's only so many colors in the world. What
Yeah.
other colors
Yeah.
suit?
Yeah. But of course, he has to have the American colors. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Then we get over to high school, and we have our film called The High School Crush. So it could be potentially a little more dangerous or a little more edgier as you. It could be because you now. Okay, well, where did you grow up?
Worcester in the Boerland, small
Okay.
town.
Okay.
So basically, for us,
And where were you for high school?
high school, Montana, Worcester.
Okay.
So we were a small school. We were same bunch of friends from primary school to high school.
Okay.
And you know what? I mean, the standard 7, standard 8 thing, that's when we were watching together Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th,
Nice,
right?
nice.
So that was a quite of a... an event because we will be sitting together on a couch.
Friday the 13th still slaps. We screen
Yeah.
it at the Bioscope whenever it's Friday the 13th, and it is amazing.
I thought Nightmare on Elm Street was
So-
surreal,
that
crazy.
Too. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, it knows exactly how to get you. Because your bed and your dreams, that's the safe space, right? The
Yeah.
monsters are in the cupboard or under the bed, but they're never in the bed. And so when you get sucked into the bed, that's scary because your safe space has now been attacked.
Yeah.
So that's still...
Yes, that bastard. But anyway.
And you know that's a Johnny Depp, eh? That's a young Johnny Depp.
Who played...
He's that little kid he's the kid that gets sucked into the bed.
You know why? I've got to check it
Yeah,
again.
he's-
I haven't
and
seen
he's
it for
wearing the-
years.
he's
I don't
wearing-
want to see it again, though.
No, I watched it as an adult. It holds up. I promise.
I don't know.
promise it holds up.
It's for me now. These things are too dark, and I just don't have time for it.
Okay.
I mean, the one I'll watch again and again is Exorcist.
Okay, well,
The
that's the
original-
darkest.
I know it's the darkest, but I like her voice,
Okay.
and I like the way they did it, and I like the archaeological. There's an archaeological element to it,
Okay.
an ancient thing, and
Yeah.
so I really enjoyed that.
Okay. Did Exorcist come to you in high school?
No, I think it was sort of banned.
Yeah.
I only saw that, I think, after school.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, in high school, are you playing music yet?
Yeah, I started writing in around standard 6, standard 5.
Okay.
But just
Started
more
bands or just for fun?
Nah,
Just for you?
Just writing music on my own.
Okay. Play sports?
No, just did art, drama.
Okay.
I don't like sport.
Okay. Because you're a tall guy. Were you
Yeah.
wanted to play sports?
I tried.
Did
My dad
did
was a
they
bullet
want you?
rugby player, and all my brothers were Cravenviek and everything. So
Oh, really?
I'm that odd one. So
The creator. He's
yeah,
creative.
I just didn't. I'm not. I run on my own. I love tennis, but
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't good at these things, so I just started running on my own, doing my own workouts. I still do it till today.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're in the Burland. After school, did you study?
Just by the way, while we're still in high school,
Yeah.
do you guys ever saw Bud Spencer and Trinity movies?
I saw one or two Bud Spencer movies.
It was amazing. It was
Funny
Trinity.
dude.
I mean, he was
He was
So
Trinity.
Trinity's the blonde guy with the blue eyes. He was like he was the Brad Pitt of the 70s,
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't
But they were all Italian artists, Italian actors, right?
know. Yeah. Trinity.
Bud Spencer and Trinity, flipping amazing. They used to smack the shit out of people.
Okay.
Then Flash Gordon, high school.
Okay, that was big for you.
That was really big for me because
Queen
of the
Queen
artistic-
soundtrack.
Queen soundtrack, Flash Gordon approaching. It was just fantastic because it went from Earth to somewhere else to fucking weird, different worlds. It was just fantastic. And Never Ending Story.
Yes. Still slaps.
Still, I saw it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one movie I showed my child, and he actually liked it. That and Beetlejuice.
Yeah. We often do a Neverending Story at the Bioscope, and it still freaks kids out. They come on, and
The
one little
Luck
kid,
Dragon.
one little kid looked up at me. He's like, "It's scarier than Harry Potter." I was like, "Yeah, it is."
It's really good. A trio and
Yeah, the music that you guys made with Springbok Noodles was very experimental. It was very eclectic, and it had fantasy in it. Not quite fantasy, but it. I also just think of some of your other lyrics of galaxies and like I think
I'm a sci-fi guy.
you look to the stars, right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that,
that's it.
can
I'm
we-
actually
is it safe to
obsessed with
say
it.
that the fantasy movies
I listen to Coast Radio every night when I go to bed.
coast to coast?
Yeah, it's
What's
they
that?
talk about aliens, anything of the paranormal. Scientists they get in, forbidden archaeology.
What is coast to coast?
Coast to Coast is a radio station. It's a talk radio station.
Where is
So you just putting Coast to Coast on YouTube. You can,
okay? Is
and
it
it's
American
like an hour,
or
and they interview different people. It's absolutely amazing. So
a live radio station you can tune into?
yeah, what I love about it is like these things are like movies,
Yeah.
and they're based on reality. This really happened to people. But then again, do you believe it or not? You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's up to you. So some of it you can go, oh, that's bullshit. But then a year later you hear something over there,
Yeah.
and then stuff comes out and things become. It's very interesting.
Okay, so as opposed to perhaps watching a lot, you choose to listen to that. You say you
that
listen
I'm just
every day.
listening to because I use it to fall asleep.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I don't like lying there. I like to listen to stuff. And
Headphones, I'm assuming.
yeah, a lot of people listen to. I mean, you get people who's into mechanics and they listen to that,
Yeah.
and I listen to
Coast
what
to
is
coast.
possible out there in the universe.
Okay, so it's a little paranormal, little UFO, sci-fi.
Yes,
Okay.
all that stuff.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
And well, it locks on with today's technologies. It knocks on with today's spiritualism. It is, I don't know.
Did a film like Close Encounters?
Close Accountants I only saw later,
to
and
you?
yeah, it was alright. I did enjoy Contact. I think Contact was
Contact's
really
great.
good.
We've got the book at the Bioscope.
Really,
I didn't know it was a book. It was a
great.
book written by Carl Sagan.
I mean, without saying it, we all know Star Wars is amazing. I just discovered I've got a new TV thing, and I've just discovered Star Treks I've never even knew existed.
Yeah.
And I'm having a great time with that.
Okay.
There's a new Frasier.
Yeah, he's come back.
Yeah, and I'm loving
Yeah.
that. I've discovered HBO TV, and
Yeah.
I've got this new dongle that's just magic.
Oh, what's the dongle?
I'll tell you later.
Okay, it's a little chip sort of gets. Yeah, no, we talk about that here. Don't worry. It's not all legitimate ways to access stuff. Okay, did you go to varsity?
I went to the army after school. Then I went to.
Okay, what was that like?
It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it because they try and fuck you up, right?
Yeah,
But you are young
yeah,
and you get fit, and you're already fit.
yeah.
So eventually, you just laugh at them, and I had a fantastic time. It was a thing where it's like school, because you learn how to interact with people.
Yeah.
But then after school, you need to go somewhere else as well. And the thing was, because everybody's in brown, you can't choose your friends.
Yeah.
So I had like mechanics, and I had a musician, then I had a skateboarder, then a metalhead. The metalhead was actually the most cleverest
Yeah.
guy of all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and you learn about your body, your own body, because they push you to the edge.
Yeah.
So that's really fantastic.
You must have been one of the last
Yeah, I was in
eras
last.
of people that had to go to
You
the
see,
army.
I mean, and it's also terrible for me to say that because the army shouldn't be fun or whatever, and because all my brothers went to Angola and stuff, so
Oh,
that's
God.
not good. I mean, one of
No.
them is still not right. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
it's but if you look at it like a camp,
yeah.
it's
It's
actually
kinda like
a
a
lot of fun.
It's kind of like a school
You're
camp.
an asshole. Your parents don't like you. Send you to army for a year, and you come back and you actually fall in love with your machine gun.
Yeah.
I had a panga, and I didn't want to give it up.
Have you seen the movie Jarhead with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
So, have you seen it?
Yeah, you get people
Okay.
who's quite over the top.
No, well, just because I want to over the course of the chat find you something to rent, because that's the point. You've come into the video store. We're talking about movies, and I want you to leave with something. So Jarhead is about when Jake Gyllenhaal joins the Iraq War, in the modern Iraq War.
Yeah.
And it just shows how mentally it screws you up. And he sees no action, so it's like it's a
you
war
hurry up and
film.
wait.
It's a war film without any war, because he's on the ground and this war is being fought in the air with
Yeah.
intelligence.
Army, big thing about army is hurry up and wait.
Yeah, which teaches you for when you become a member
A musician,
of a band.
because you hurry up and wait, right?
You just sit around doing fuck
And the
all.
worst thing about a show is between sound check and the show.
Yeah, because you can't go do stuff.
No.
I mean, you've traveled the world. You see Buckingham Palace at midnight, and we saw the Sydney Opera House at midnight. Because you in these magical cities, but the time is not your own,
No.
and you you sit around and wait.
Yeah.
And of course, that doesn't get Instagrammed, so people don't know how cool being in a band really is.
God, I can watch fucking water dry.
So yeah, okay. So we went to the army. Maybe around the army, just coming out. Were there any other films? We've got this is our category
Look,
called.
there's when did Saving Private Ryan? I probably came around
Yeah.
just after 1992,
Yeah.
93, whatever.
I think it could have, maybe been a bit later. Okay, but that one was one for you.
Well, my brother came to me and he said to me, "This is the most real war movie ever."
Okay, because he'd
And
actually
he
done
walked
time.
out. Yeah, he walked out of it because it was so real.
Wild.
So I had to go watch it. And it was because you feel these pieces of metal coming
Yeah.
past you.
Yeah, that opening
And listen,
sequence.
if you survive something like that, it's pure luck. In fact, in the army, there's one thing they do ask you is, do you consider yourself lucky? And if you write yes, you might be, they will test you for becoming a recce.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Luck is actually a factor.
Yeah. No, 100%. Okay, so you didn't see any time. You did your army. And then after that, when did we
Look,
start?
we saw a little bit of action because we were on the Mozambique border.
Okay.
So Renamo and Frelimo were still fighting. We saw them with the tanks, but nothing much. I mean, there were some skeletons on the other side of the border we saw every day.
Oh, hectic.
And when the guys... they
Actual
will-
skeletons.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the Frelimo guys will come and ask us for water and food. And I will say, okay, only if I can shoot with your AK. Because we don't shoot with AKs.
Okay.
I'll give them some water and food, and then I stand and then we shoot with the AKs. It's the AK-47
It
is
is
the
fun.
awesomest gun.
It is fun.
It's literally like how you imagine it to be. You can
Yeah,
shoot
yeah.
from the hip. And
Yeah,
go like,
yeah.
oh, it's like awesome.
I feel like Rambo.
Yeah.
Okay. When do we start the band?
1993. That's when we record.
Okay, so that's soon after this then.
Yeah, I was a machine miner for 2.5 years, which is I print things.
Okay.
I was terrible.
Yeah.
I was a terrible spur waiter, I'm not good at real life. So
This was in Cape Town?
yeah,
Or where were you?
in Wellington. So
Okay.
while I was doing that, the Nude Girls started, we recorded, and then suddenly we started making more money than my job.
Okay.
So I bid my job farewell
I'm out of here.
with great glee,
Yeah.
and I still had nightmares afterwards,
Yeah.
but I'm now over it.
I do take great enjoyment in discovering the Springbok vinyls.
Yeah.
I collect vinyls and we sell them at the Bioscope, and I go through all vinyl stores looking for soundtracks that we can sell at the Bioscope, and I also have my own collection. So we come across Springbok radio station compilations, which had these sexy girls on the cover.
That's it.
That's the name.
Yeah.
It's the Springbok Nude Girls.
So we had to look for a band name. We had a gig in 2 weeks. We had to come up with a name.
What could it have been?
Yeah, look, Theo wanted to call it.
Skullfuckers.
Theo wanted to call it what? Curtain Flowers.
What?
Curtain Flowers.
Okay.
For our Pantera member of the band, I thought that was pretty weird. But anyway, then basically I was drunk. I woke up the next morning still a little bit drunk. My girlfriend went to work. She puts on the radio while she's getting dressed. I hear the DJ say, and tomorrow night, the Springbok Nude Girls will be appearing live at the... Or I'm thinking I'm
Okay.
hearing it. So
Okay.
I quickly and I wrote it down.
And this was obviously like,
And that was the
If he
day
was-
before we had the meeting.
and if he was talking about that, and he did say that, he was talking about probably the women who were the models.
I don't know what, because this was in the 90s. People
Yeah.
don't even know about the Spin Market Parade albums anymore
yeah.
by then.
Yeah.
So I think it's in
Okay,
the
so
subconscious. It just
even that
came
was
out.
Even that was a distant memory. the
And
actual-
I wanted a name that sounds like Sonic Youth because I love Sonic Youth. And the S, something about the S, maybe it's Superman.
Okay.
So Springbok Nude Girls, Sonic Youth. Yeah, it works for me.
Okay. No,
And
it's a
I just
great
thought
name.
it was cool because it's almost not cool, which is great because you don't want to be cool because cool isn't it's uncool. But remember in the 90s, nobody went out to try and be in the limelight.
Okay.
It was cool not to do interviews.
Okay.
The less people knew about you, the better, the cooler it is.
Okay.
So that's why the Smiths, Nick Cave, and all my heroes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you don't want to be and it was totally the opposite to today.
Yeah.
I mean, the record company came to me and asked me not to do interviews because they said I was really shit at it.
Oh.
So there was 2 years. In the first 2 years, I didn't do interviews, and that created the reluctant rock star thing
Yeah.
in the media.
Yeah.
So it all just kind of worked it.
Yeah, I must say, as someone consuming that music and consuming you guys, yeah, I saw the mysticism. Yeah,
Weird way.
no, and also the shows were also, as I said, were quite trippy and went in all strange directions. And you exposed me personally to the fact that as a vocalist, you could have a set of pedals. I had at that point only ever associated that with guitars, where I was like, oh,
No.
you were playing your voice
Yeah.
like an instrument.
Because, I mean, we were listening to music. I mean, I'm a music nerd, so I've heard things of vocals doing, hey, 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 especially if you listen to Waterboys, they had a massive reverb on his voice, that first 2 albums.
Yeah.
I don't know where the delay thing comes from, but it came from the fact that you keep a note, and this will help you. Wow, of course you want that.
Oh, just the assistance of it.
Yeah, and then also rhythmically, and then you can also go in the old
just
analog
Yeah.
guitar pedals, which will add to the fucking crazy wildness of it, you know.
And also just things that can't be repeated. And I think that was the love of going to a Nude Girls show, was that it might be very different from the next.
Yeah, a pity about those delay pedals. I'm not using them anymore because we had a guy that built me a box that separates the channels.
Okay.
So it was a handmade thing. So I would plug in my pedals in there, and that will split the box, and we'll split it. So the guy can write my delay louder and softer and my vocal. It splits the vocal and the delay.
Okay.
You can't buy that in shops. Nobody wants to make it because it's a big job.
Yeah.
So now I just use normal delays.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad. But also, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, in that time when you're experimenting, you're starting the band, things are getting fun, any crazy movies? Any films that you've loved along the way there?
I think the Nude Girls, the movie that's for that generation was Matrix.
Okay.
Because
Just mind-blowing.
yeah, I think that's the one that
otherworldly.
stood out and that
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. It's just an incredible movie. Everything about it was incredible.
The fact that we were there for it, yeah.
That was the 90s, wasn't it?
It was literally 1999. It was the end of the 90s. It came out at the end of the 90s.
Yeah, I can't actually remember much of the Nude Girls the 7 years, so
Yeah.
I don't think we watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
We were busy with other things.
Yeah.
We were the movie.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. I remember watching what I thought, or what most people thought was going to be your last show. I think you had a few of those.
We had 3 or 4 of those.
This was Supersport Park. Feeder was there, and it was Sarin Gas.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember Sarin Gas. I remember him standing. We were once playing, and there was a guy standing, and the security kept him out.
Yeah.
And he was just looking at us through he just looked so sad.
Yeah.
So I said to the security guard, let him in.
Yeah.
And that was the lead singer of Seether.
Yeah, Sarin Gas became Seether because
and I mean today the guys. I mean today they're huge, right?
sure, yeah.
And I remember, and it was actually I'll never forget that I had to say to the thing is let that guy in. And
That's so cool. Well, he probably attributes a lot to you, and those moments mean a lot. He was Sean Velgemuth at that point.
yeah,
That name had to
What is it
rebrand.
now?
It's now Morgan.
Sean Morgan.
He gave himself a stage name
nice.
for America, and then of course Sarin Gas was not going to fly post 9/11, so they just got some of your heat. It's nice. What is that?
It smells like fart. It's heat. It's my step to stop smoking.
Okay.
It's
No, I appreciate it.
90% better.
Okay, we've got one last film, which is the film you would settle down with. A film you could keep coming back to. If it was a relationship, it's the kind of film you could marry.
Okay, right. So just go. Okay, I'm going to go there, but just before that, 90s. I just remembered
Good.
Dracula, Bram Stoker.
Oh, the Keanu Reeves weird one.
I actually grew my hair to look like him.
Oh.
I had his long hair like down.
But are we talking about the Keanu Reeves, Gary Oldman,
Yes.
crazy,
Yes. So when he was
far more porno than it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Very good. I mean, the costumes. Gary Oldman is incredible with it. I love it when his shadow moves without him moving. Keanu Reeves, I always like
Yeah,
him. And
Okay.
It was just
what did you love about? Yeah, just
the clothes,
the theatric,
the photography or
the cinematography. Yeah.
cinematography, everything about it was just, it's probably the best Dragula there's ever been.
Yeah.
I remember Greystoke as well in primary school,
I
right?
missed
No,
Greystoke.
the Tarzan. And that influenced me that I would sit in the trees and eat in my back garden.
Yeah.
I would come home from school. Then I go sit in the tree and eat bananas.
Really.
Superman influenced me that I jumped off I actually used to walk and whistle like he did to school.
Yeah.
And I go like, good morning. You like that? And then sometimes I would walk. And then once I jumped off the roof to see if I could fly. I fucking knew that was not going to work. Spider-Man influenced me that I used to run with him, the old Rabubi.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
I ran like that at a school party once
Yeah.
to the embarrassed people. I remember the girls going, what are you doing?
Were you a cool dude in high school? Were you?
Nah, I had this super dyslexia.
Oh, really?
So I was in the DOF class.
But you could paint.
Dude, you know the reason why I did all those things was just to get out of sport. So.
Okay.
But I did enjoy it. I had a fantastic art teacher. But at the end of the day, where were we now?
Well, we're darting back, but I'm just curious where you were in high school.
Oh, right. Because
sort
we were such a small school, and because I made my two best friends in primary school,
Yeah.
they were with me in high school.
Okay.
So we just went
You
on.
just had your clan.
Yeah,
and
just me and my two buddies, and of course we made friends with all the other guys. You get the jocks, the more sporty guys.
Yeah.
But because our school was so small,
Yeah.
nobody could really be a jock, or nobody could
Or
be
uncool.
this.
Or, okay.
Yeah, so
So you just got by.
yeah, it was fine, and it's good. That kind of builds a bit of character that you know, in break you're like, hey, you're with the guys, and okay, cheers, guys, I'm going to the dorm class.
Oh.
And,
No, but you had dyslexia. It's not your fault.
but also I had half English friends
Yeah.
and half Afrikaans friends,
Okay.
where most of my buddies just had Afrikaans friends, or you know,
Okay.
so I had much older friends as well. I was a bit of a weird.
But you.
I was
okay.
a loner in a weird way.
But it sounds like you had friends.
I had loads of friends, but for instance, I would like hang out with this. There was my art teacher. Me and my art teacher became super good friends,
Okay.
and
Is
we
he
would
still
just
around?
spend time together, even weekends. And we do after school, after class, at night. We'll do more. We'll start drinking a bit of wine, smoking a little joint, and painting, listening to music.
Sounds like a cool dude.
We really, really, really clicked. Yeah, because I had 4 older brothers. I was.
You could relate to older people.
I was easier. It was for me just easier to sometimes.
Okay. What did we cover? What your settle down film is?
Okay, my settle down film. Okay, I just got to mention Marley and Me.
Yeah.
I watched 5 times. I cried 5 times. Then the other day I tried to show it to my son, and I
Yeah.
didn't cry, and I actually thought, fuck it. But that movie
Okay.
made me cry. Then there was another movie. The Peter Pan.
Yeah.
There was a Peter Pan movie about the guy who wrote Peter Pan. Wasn't it?
Yes. Finding Neverland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was super sad in a way.
It was fucking
Listen,
heartbreaking.
I had to wait for everybody to leave the movie house. My wife and her friend were fucking killing themselves laughing at me.
Yeah, it's
I was tears
yeah.
everywhere. It was
Yeah.
in my neck.
Johnny Depp, baby,
That was
and Kate Winslet.
and I never watched it again. I just knew it was a really good movie.
Yeah. No. And Freddie Highmore was one of the little boys.
Oh my god, it was good.
And there's that scene with him when he's crying on the park bench that's become a meme. But no, and oh my God, when Kate Winslet is sick and getting progressively worse,
yeah.
and then they do the performance of Peter Pan for her in the house, and then the like backdrop falls because that's now in her imagination, and oh my God, I lost it.
No man, I can't even remember. I don't want to go there. For me, movies, if they make you laugh, I mean something about Mary, all those
Okay.
incredible comedies, right?
Yeah.
Zohan, I love Zohan.
Yeah, it's good.
Zohan, I've watched a couple of times.
Okay.
My favorite comedian is Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
And
Shake and
Brad
bake.
Pitt, like my wife says, it's Brad Pitt on a plate. He's still Brad Pitt. I like Brad
Yeah.
Pitt. George Clooney, all those old actors are cool.
Yeah.
There's a couple of new ones coming. So, yeah.
But you went to Marley and Me first. Did you think that's maybe your...
No, it's just because it made me cry so much. But
Yeah.
what movie is the one that you will settle down with? Is that?
Yeah, that's the question.
Oh my God!
Maybe you haven't found
do
it yet.
that because
Maybe you
you'll
haven't
go
found
crazy.
it
I will say I haven't found it yet,
yet. Yeah.
but I also love a good court case.
Okay. Little crime drama that turns.
The court cases are incredible.
Okay, I got one for you. Have you seen the film 12 Angry Men?
No.
Okay. It's a black and white film, and it is arguably one of the greatest films ever made. Like it's in most people's like big AFI like lists of the greatest films ever made. And the whole film takes place in a jury room as they decide the fate of someone. And they, of course, have to be unanimous. But our main character says he thinks he's not guilty. But everyone else, because it's all men, gives you a time, it helps
Put it in a place.
put it in a context where the jury were all men. And some guys are like, I want to make the baseball game. Let's get this done.
I think
But
I've seen something like that.
But he's like, guys, how do we know? It was late. How could that eyewitness have? And slowly but surely over the course of the movie,
I think I've seen it.
you've seen it. Shit. Okay, well maybe it's a rewatch.
Have you seen Delicatessen?
Love it.
Okay, I think that was also quite a big influence in
Same-
the early
same
90s when we
people that
made
did-
videos because I wanted that green look.
Yeah.
Is that director also eventually did Aliens, right? He had this green look about his...
Jean-Paul Jeunet. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did Amélie. Have you seen Amélie?
I think I've seen Amélie, yeah.
Amélie for me was my high school crush
Then,
film.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
that was Springbok Noodles when I went solo.
Yeah.
The movie we watched while we were recording the album.
Yeah.
So Albert Frost said to me, have you seen this movie? Anyway, he showed it to me. It finished. I didn't laugh once. I looked at him and I said, play it again. It's the only movie in my life ever, but straight afterwards I said, play it again. He played it again, and I fucking couldn't stop laughing. It was the funniest thing, and then we started talking, me and Albert.
Okay, I think I know what
You
it is.
know what it is?
Anchorman?
No.
No.
Although Anchorman is the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Kung Pao.
Oh, Legend of the...
Sweet Lord.
Wee-oo.
I see it's good not dab. Something between good and what? Something bad is bedong.
Oh my
Between
God.
bad and wrong is bedong.
It's the most ridiculous film, and no one will ever make another movie like it.
It is crazy.
It's an old Chinese kung fu film that in the modern era they have put an actor in, right? And then they've dubbed it in like a funny, weird way. It is such a stoner comedy.
Man, they make fun like we used to make fun of these old kung fu movies.
Yeah.
Where we would, after the movie, we would run out and we go like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
And then your lips move
your
after.
lips keep moving. And there's that one character where they just make her go
The girl with the 3 tits, isn't it?
something like that.
Fantastic.
No, okay, Kung Pao. That's great. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'm glad that got a mention in this.
definitely.
Okay, but listen, I think let's leave it there. I appreciate you, and it's lucky. It's been great catching up,
Yeah.
and it's been great hearing some stories.
Cool, man.
And it's once again an honor to have you at the Bioscope. And I hope the show is good.
Don't you have a new song out?
There was
I
a
think
new
I
album.
heard something the other day.
Yeah, there was an album we put out. We are nominated for a Sama this year for the album.
Nice.
That is also going to be decided tomorrow.
Okay.
The day we're recording this, it's happening tomorrow. So that's exciting. But we met once at like a beer fest
Durban.
once. Yeah, it was somewhere.
I remember that.
Somewhere there, and they actually gave us
Yes, yes,
relatively nice
We were at the
accommodation, and you
back.
were next to us.
Tweak was also there.
Could have been.
I think so, yeah.
No, and that was when I met you for the first time, and it was nice
Right,
to meet
cool,
you.
man.
Yeah.
You know,
Man.
musicians on the road,
Yeah.
we see each other go, hey! They get drunk and they can't remember anything. So we meet each other 7 times.
No, but it's just it's almost like you can just pick up where you left off because we all know exactly what it's like.
Oh, yes.
And here's a night together to just hang out.
Yeah. No, but
yeah.
listen, lovely seeing you again.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No,
if you ever want me
pleasure.
back, I'll report back
Okay.
on new movies.
Lovely. No,
Fantastic.
let's catch up. Just like
In fact, you should interview Werner von Walzeleben, my drummer. Next time, I'll bring him with. Because
anyone with that
he's the fundi.
okay, anyone with that name deserves attention.
Fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for having me.
Cool.
Cheers.
And we'll see you soon.
Later.
Cheers. All right. What a good chat. What a cool dude.
Yeah.
Quite an enigmatic man.
Yes.
And it's interesting that a part of his time, he very consciously was being enigmatic.
Mm.
But yeah, interesting dude. And I just think anyone who's of that age that did serve some time in the army and were the last people to actually like do the army time, it's an interesting dude.
Yeah, definitely.
And you wonder what that kind of conscription could do for people these days.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to sort of say you have to go and do this army time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying one should do it, but I think it was an interesting thing to put all people through.
Yeah,
all men, but
I was surprised when he said that because, like, that's something I associate with, like, my dad's generation. Like I'm sure your dad was in the army.
My dad actually got out of it. He was quite sick.
Okay.
He had like some kind of particular kind of condition.
Yeah, but Arno Carstens is significantly younger than my dad. I don't think of it as like his generation.
Yeah, I think he was literally one of the last dudes
he must have
do
been.
it. But here we are. We're back. We had ourselves a little break.
First ep of the year.
First epi of the year. And did we watch some cool stuff while we were away?
Yeah.
How were things with you, Marigold? Did you go away?
I did not. I worked throughout December.
Okay.
It was really lovely.
How's your hands? Are they shaking?
They're good, actually. They're good. I've started running, so my ankles are now messed up.
Okay.
But my hands are very good.
people who do a lot of running
Yeah.
aren't necessarily the healthiest people.
No.
Yeah.
Ironically.
We're going like every single day, and we're doing like 5 to 7 Ks. Okay, we have 2 race days. But yesterday we were doing a trail, and I completely rolled. I wasn't
the
really
ankle.
looking, and completely rolled the ankle. We continued for a little bit more, and then I rolled the left ankle as well. So,
Oh no.
yeah,
Okay, but you're healthy.
I'm healthy. Yeah.
Did you run before?
I used to when I lived in Cape Town. It was a lot easier because, I don't know, in some ways I think the area that I was in, it was a little bit safer. There's always people on the routes that you take. So it was easy for me to just hop outside of my door and go running.
Cape Town allows you to run.
It
It's
does.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where Joburg just feels big and
I mean, Joburg's
Spread out.
very beautiful. Like,
Sure.
I must be honest, we have been like finding some really pretty places to run.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been lovely.
And you stayed here.
I stayed, yes.
Okay. G-Force?
Yo.
Did you stay in Joburg?
Oh, yeah, always. Everywhere
Okay.
else is too busy or too expensive.
Yeah. Joburg is great this time of year, I guess.
Yeah.
And did you watch some good movies?
Yeah, I watched some stuff. Well, hang on. We need to talk about what you did in December.
Sure. We'll get to it, yeah. I had a crazy holiday.
Yeah.
The first part of it was Dubai with who is now my fiance.
Congratulations.
She's always been Leslie, my girlfriend, for those listening.
Yeah.
She is now my fiance. And we went to Dubai, which was quite a place to see. I'd been there about 7 or 8 years ago.
Right.
But it's one of those cities that just changes so dramatically. And they just build like crazy. And it's all a big show off.
Yes.
And it's a remarkable place to sort of see. They've created this utopia for wealthy expats.
Yeah.
So there's just these fancy cars everywhere and these brunches and these things and rooftops and infinity pools and like it's ridiculous and it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And then we went to Iceland,
Lovely.
myself and Liz.
Yes.
And that was really cool because it was just a trip with just the two of us. And it's this far away, very far away place that we wouldn't have normally gone to. And I don't think we could ever really go back again. It's just so far and very expensive. But it was just so beautiful.
Nice.
Glaciers and ice caves and waterfalls and something that I thought could be a interesting thing to bring up and at least bring to the video store is I didn't know that Tolkien spent some time in Iceland.
Oh, right.
And there is quite a lot of that folklore made its way into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So you look up over these crazy, beautiful landscapes
Yes.
that just look completely untouched. And you know that there are so few people that live there. There's like 300,000 people
Yeah.
in the whole island. And they kind of believe in elves. Not the thin, beautiful, sort of Orlando Bloom looking elves that we then were shown. They were apparently smaller, more dwarfish people. But there's all these stories of like farmers, not getting anywhere, or their chickens not laying eggs, and then some kind of spiritual person saying, no, the elves in the neighborhood, like or that live nearby, aren't happy. They don't like you here. If you do this, if you do that, if you give them some flowers once a year or whatever, they'll allow you to live here.
Right.
And then there's all these stories that this guide was telling us where the person then gave some kind of symbol to the elves and then the chickens laid the eggs.
Right.
Like the next day.
Yes.
And all these stories. And they're these particular little houses that they've created in the wood. I mean, in the hillside.
Right.
That look Hobbit-like.
Oh, okay.
And he pointed that out, and the guy kept going, look, here's another Hobbit house. Here's a Hobbit house. So I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
Isn't there that like really kitsch film with Will Ferrell and I'm trying to remember Rachel McAdams? Yeah.
Oh, where they were in Eurovision.
Like, and then there's like that whole scene with like the little elf house. Like throws like a knife or something like that.
I haven't seen enough of it. I watched the first 10 minits of it. It was a Netflix film where they were entering Eurovision.
My mom was like, you have to watch this. You love ABBA. You need to watch this. And I was like, this is not really my cup of tea. And then I was like, okay, cool. Like actually Scandinavian Eurovision, it is my cup of tea.
Apparently something like 50% of Icelanders don't believe in elves, but something like 80% would never mess with them.
Yes, yeah.
So it's like they don't believe, but they're not going to mess with them.
No, yeah. It's
Okay.
like
So there's an elf scene.
There's an elf scene, yeah. There's like also like a little house, if I can remember correctly. There's like a little house that they've built into, little groves and stuff. And at like some scene, like you don't see the elf, but he like helps them out in like a situation or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then trolls are huge.
All right.
I thought it was the other way around. Like in a way, I thought the elves would be sort of human-like characters, and then the trolls would be small, like you kind of think of trolls.
Right.
But trolls are huge.
Yes. Have you seen Troll Jagons?
Well, there is that Netflix film called Troll, where it's like the size of a mountain.
Yeah, but and they're not related, but the trolls look very similar, and it was one of my favorite movies. It's like a Norwegian found footage.
Oh, I've heard about it. I haven't seen
loved
it, though.
I was so obsessed, and
Cool.
I became so obsessed with it that I was like, okay, I'm going to move to Norway, like jeg forstår du litt norsk, and I'm going to go and hunt trolls and live in the mountains. I was I'm obsessed.
When did this come out?
I think probably like 2016. Let me double check.
Something like that.
But is that the Troll? Because there was a movie recently that I saw on Netflix just called Troll.
Yeah, I think this is called Troll Hunter or something.
Troll Hunters,
yeah.
Troll Jagen.
Yeah, it's like
Troll
found
Jagen.
footage, yeah.
Jagens.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen like trailers and I've heard it's very good
and
as well.
apparently when old Gandalf disappears,
Yes.
he comes back with an eye patch, right? Apparently when he's now the White.
Does he? In the
Do
book?
you mean in the book?
I don't know.
I don't know, actually.
This is what he was saying.
In the movie, he certainly doesn't,
No,
but I
no.
can't remember if he does in the book.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Because apparently that's Norse mythology.
Oh, okay.
Because, old Anthony Hopkins' character.
Yeah, Odin.
Yeah.
2010. Came out in 2010,
wow.
yeah.
Earlier than I thought.
Yeah.
When Anthony Hopkins has the eye patch,
Yes.
Odin has the eye patch because he gave his eye for wisdom.
Oh.
That's cool.
And apparently there's a eye patch in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Okay, you know this. I didn't. I just took his word for it.
Yes.
Okay. So that
Not
doesn't
that I
come up
know
in the
of.
movie.
Yeah.
But I got a chance to watch a lot of cool movies on the plane.
Cool.
Yes.
I managed to watch. There's a film called The Man from Uncle,
Oh, yes.
which is a Guy Ritchie film.
Yes. With
And it
Henry
was-
Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yes.
And who's the other dashing?
Army Hammer.
Army Hammer. And it's based on an old TV show.
Yeah, an old 60s show.
Marigold in particular, as someone who appreciates good style, you'd fucking love this.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's
I like
got
it a
that.
lot.
It's got an old, like, very cool style to it,
Okay, cool.
and it's old school James Bondy
Yeah.
gadgets.
Yes.
I thought I particularly liked it.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's a lot of fun.
Then I watched Robots, which is Jake Whitehall, the British comedian.
Oh, yes.
The woman from The Fault in Our Stars. What's her name? Shailene Woodley. We're in this near future where we have robots doing all our work,
Okay.
like all our laundry and things like that, but they're very obvious looking robots.
Mm-hmm.
But one can create a very lifelike robot of yourself, but that's illegal.
Oh.
But these two main characters have created these identical robots of themselves that they get to do things. So Jack Whitehall has this robot that does most of his work and goes out and also meets women.
Right.
And when it's time to now have sex with the woman, that's when he'll then go on the date himself and get to have sex. But he sends his robot out.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Shailene Woodley's been doing the same thing to get gifts and money from men. So she also sends her robot out to date men.
Right.
And then what happens is the two robots discover this and they fall in love and they run away and kind of basically steal their identity. So the two real people are now following after their robot versions.
Okay.
It's silly enough to be silly, but
Cool.
it's still fun and smart.
Okay.
I don't know where that's going to be in South Africa.
Right.
Then I saw After Sun,
Oh, right.
which Rob Van Vuren said he really liked.
Mm.
A lot of people considered that one of the best films of last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a difficult film.
Okay.
Mm.
It doesn't hand it to you very easily. It's all about this young girl going on a trip with her dad to this sort of resort in Scotland or in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, they're in Spain or France.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very much set in that sort of 2000s, late 90s, and it's all about her looking back on this time with her dad. It's quite a somber, very beautiful, quite arty film.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I saw it.
Yes.
I saw The Iron Giant for the first time.
For the
From
first
start to
time.
finish. From start to finish.
Right.
I'm very guilty of not having watched the whole thing.
It's very good.
It's lovely, right?
It's
I
very
loved it.
sweet.
When
Yeah.
I was small, loved it. We had it on VHS.
Cool.
Well, you see, it was a little bit after my time. Like it wasn't the movie of my childhood.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a little bit older,
Yeah.
so I sort of missed it.
Mm.
But it was really great, like watching it.
Yeah. Brad Bird knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And then I did a little old David Washington.
Oh,
Did a few
yes.
I finally watched Tenant.
Oh, yes.
Fuck, that's complicated.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did you dig it?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a few viewings.
It's wild. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm, no.
Tenant. It was like the pandemic.
Yeah, it was Chris Nolan's pandemic
Chris
movie.
Nolan's
Yeah.
movie.
What's it about?
Maybe
Maybe I have.
No, you would know if you've seen it.
Okay.
It's we're at the point in the future now where we've been exposed to the fact that time can be manipulated, and people in the future have given us this ability to control time,
Kind of, yeah.
and it's about certain missions having to take place to protect the future, to save the past.
Okay.
Yes.
Fuck, it's complicated.
Okay.
It's not like a character narrative film. It's conceptual. You go in for the concept.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
he knows how to do those action sequences so well.
Yes. And I mean, like, even the main character doesn't have a name. The main
Yeah.
character is just referred to as the protagonist.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's arty.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's arty. But then I watched The Creator,
Okay.
which is has so much more heart than I thought.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
Mm-mm. Not yet.
Me neither.
No, it was really, really good.
Cool.
Also, we're now in the future where AI has taken, is taken over to some degree, and there's been this big bomb that went off in LA, which they considered was done by the AI. So now there's this big war between the humans and the AI.
Mm-hmm.
The AI are living out in like Asia, and David John Washington, this is old Denzel's son, has been with this woman, and it's all about like sort of getting to the heart of the AI, which is this the person who created the AI, and then there's this little kid that's this really important asset that's been created, and David John Washington's character is this person who did spend some time with the AI, who really loves them, but also still works for the humans, and he's conflicted there. Okay. But then you've got this beautiful little child that's been created that's got this incredible power that he gets to know and wants to use to sort of for his own selfish reasons, but also help set right to the world and end this war.
Okay.
But it has a lot more heart in it than I thought, and I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, Gad mentioned it in The Most Rented.
Yeah, he considered it one of his best. But you guys, what are you guys enjoying?
Because it was December time, I generally rewatch Fargo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like my Christmas series.
Cool.
The series Fargo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll rewatch all of them during Christmas. It's one of my favorites. And I was telling one of the other tattoo artists, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go home and watch Fargo. It's like my Christmas series and whatever. And she was like, that's really fucked up. Like, it's really messed up.
What's the TV show like? I've never really watched the TV show.
It's good. I must be honest, though, I'm having a hard time. There's a 5th season now. I haven't seen it. I'm having a really hard time with season 4. Like, I'm in and out of it.
Right.
But the first season, incredible. Second season, incredible. Like, it's like one of the series that just like slowly becomes my whole like identity. Like, there's like this can I call him an assassin dude? Like, and he wears like a suede tassely jacket. And the first time I watched it, I was like, cool. I need to get one. Went to Topshop, got one. Like, I wore it every day.
Have to wear tassel.
Like, have to wear tassels now. Like, I love Fargo. I love it.
Thinking of the leathery tassel jacket, I rewatched Barbie on the plane as well.
Yeah.
Cool. It's such a great rewatch, especially when they come out in their cowboy clothes.
Oh yes. I love the cowboy clothes.
It's so smart, and every time you watch it, you just get so much more. That also just has so much heart to it.
Yeah.
No, I dug Barbie. It was cool.
Yeah.
But there was another TV show at the end of last year that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, Poker Face.
Poker Face.
My goodness. It was so good. That I binged properly. You can find it on Showmax. Cool. And it's got Natasha Leone. And she can tell when people are lying, basically. And it's not like it's a super magic power. She just knows. I think it's like, she explains, like, I'm not like mystical in any way. I can just kind of tell. And it starts out with, so I really like the series because it's like, it's not really a who did it, but how did they do it? So the beginning of the episode will start with, okay, you see the murder mystery. Well, not murder mystery, but the murder happen. And then it's her going in and figuring out what happened or how did it happen.
Is she a detective or something?
She's not. She's just like some lady who worked at a casino. She's playing like, the characters like Russian Doll, the hey guys, chilling out. She's playing one of those characters.
Okay. And why does she have to solve the stuff?
Well, I don't want to give that away because everything will be found out in the first episode. And it's nice because it's a series. So I watched it and then had a little date, and he came over and I was busy raving about this the series, and I was like, okay, but you can join me in like episode 7 because it's the kind of series that, okay, cool, once you have the first episode, which we rewatched, you can kind of jump between episodes if you wanted to. Yeah. So each episode is pretty different.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because that's what always was so funny about Murder, She Wrote, which was that TV show when we were kids. It was like, she's not a cop.
Yeah.
So why are people just dying around her?
Right,
So, of course the cop is going to go to the dead people.
Yeah.
There's a dead person right now in Johannesburg, and a cop might have to go and see that dead person.
Yeah.
But if you're just a writer, it's like, why is everyone dying around you? Like, that would be horrible. But
Final episode should have revealed that she killed them all.
Yeah.
She's a serial killer.
There was another TV show growing up called Columbo, which was kind of interesting. Which was he was a detective. And that show's format was different. You always knew who the killer was.
Yes.
And then the show was about how he found that out.
So exactly like that. Exactly
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Peter Falk.
Peter Falk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and he
it.
also
He's
pretended
great.
to be stupid.
Yeah.
And then people thought that he was stupid, and then they thought they could get away with it. Meanwhile, he was smart.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really did. Like also all the little, stories and the character development between her and everyone else around, like the little stories and how they go into the history of some of the characters. There's like a very cute one. I don't know if cute's the right word, but there's a good one with these like hippie ladies who are now old and they're in an old age home and kind of speaking about, their history. And I really loved it. It was
Cool.
awesome.
And is it sort of one and done, or do you think there'll be another
There's
season?
going to be another season. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. And it's on
Yeah.
Showmax.
Showmax, yeah.
Poker
Cool.
Face.
Poker Face.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, GeForce,
Yo.
you gave yourself this crazy task last year
Yes.
of watching a movie every day.
Yep.
Do you live with some relief now that you can just go through your day and perhaps not watch a movie?
Yes.
Does that bring you some sense of joy?
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Just watch movies whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, because you perhaps made it a bit of a task.
Yeah.
What was your last movie of the year?
Ambulance. I started with Ambulance and I ended with Ambulance.
Oh, so you rewatched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's that. Yeah, ambulance where the LA was
Yeah.
highlighted because it was
Yes.
all about an ambulance in LA.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
great. You should watch it. It's
Who's in it
very good.
again?
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Okay.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen,
yeah.
Isaac Gonzalez. Directed by Mr. Bay,
Okay.
but shockingly reserved for Michael Bay. Not in an action sense, but there's no misogyny, which is nice.
Yeah, that was what you were saying about how the woman character
Yes.
was portrayed.
Yeah.
Interesting that you started and ended with that.
Yeah, I was like, cool, I'm going to end where it started. January 1st to January 1st, at least one movie a day.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What's crazy about it is I still didn't watch everything that I wanted to watch.
No.
There's still stuff I was like, I wanted to watch that.
Were you particular about like what you chose to watch or?
It was just whatever. Most of the time it was just like, this seems like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it was like, cool, I'm going to watch an entire franchise.
What would you say was the highlight?
Well, I mean, I chose Oppenheimer as my favorite movie of
Okay.
last year, so it
Amazing.
was probably that. Also,
Cool.
like revisiting stuff I haven't seen in a few years. Close Encounters, I love.
Yeah.
Alien.
Yeah.
I got to watch most of like my favorite, so to speak, movies.
Mm.
But I didn't watch like a single Star Wars or a single Lord of the Rings or a single The Matrix. It was like, cool. I was like, cool, I want to revisit all these franchises that I haven't seen in 4 or 5 years. Didn't get around to any of those. But I watched every Pixar movie.
Amazing.
So,
Wow.
yeah. But, so I haven't been like obligated to watch stuff this year, but I did watch last night. Have you guys heard of Society of the Snow?
I wanted to talk about it. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it's
Dude.
the
J.A. Bayona, who directed The Impossible and A Monster Calls. Very, very good director. But it's a true story set in the 1970s about a plane crash going to Chile from Uruguay. And it crashes in the Andes Mountains.
bunch of rugby players.
Yeah, it was an Air Force plane, actually, that they were transporting a rugby team. Yo, dude, it is heavy.
And they crash.
Yeah, they
And
crash
have
in the
to
Andes
survive.
Mountains.
And they survive. It's sort of
Yeah.
it's like the real life version of like a Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just going to say.
Just without the sort of
witchcraft and
witchcraft sort of tweeniness. And so this film is called Society of the Snow.
Yeah.
It's them speaking Spanish.
Yeah, it's all in Spanish. Well, weirdly enough, when I first started on Netflix, it was set to English by default, and I was like, no,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
change it to Spanish.
Yeah, let's do this authentically.
Yes.
And you finished it?
Oh, yeah. It is tremendous, dude.
And it's a great
very good
movie, yeah.
It is. It's not like an easy movie to watch because it's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
one
it
of the
is
movies I
very good.
wanted to watch this week, and I actually thought this leads me to something which I thought could be a fun challenge every week,
Yeah.
is to actually get everyone to watch something.
Yes.
We try and find something for the guest and the
Yeah.
guest chat, but then I thought as the video store, I thought it would be quite cool to say, like, let's all go out and watch a movie.
Yeah.
It could be a movie that none of us in the team have watched, but we all want to watch it this week.
Yes.
Because it's like the sort of movie of the week.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about it, especially over on Facebook, in the Facebook group. And we all chime in on what we think. And we can all get back the next week to sort of report back on what we think of the film. And I actually was going to say it should be Society of the Snow.
It's very
What
good.
is that film that everyone's recommending it to? Sand something?
Saltburn.
Saltburn.
Yeah, that's the other one.
And
I wanted
everyone is like, Marigold, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. And when that happens, then I'm like, okay.
Yes.
It's like everything all at once, that film as well.
Everything everywhere.
Everyone was sending me a message, you got to watch it. And I was like, now I'm like, okay, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Saltburn looks real interesting. It's one of those real boundary pusher.
Yeah. People are going wild about it at the moment.
I think it's interesting. Yeah, it's over on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I think there's some interesting scenes that I think are very memorable that people can't sort of get out of their head.
Yeah.
Sort of similar. It's got a similar kind of charm and aura like Triangle of Sadness.
Okay.
It's like one of those like, oh, you'll never believe the scene where this happens.
Yes, okay.
And so...
Has anyone have either of you seen it?
No, I haven't.
No, I
Okay.
wanted to... for some reason, our Amazon account is linked to Leslie's account, which is an American one, which is stopping certain things from happening.
Oh.
Okay.
So we got to
Weird.
change that around, where I know if you have a South African Amazon Prime account, you'd be able to see it because it's an
Yes.
Amazon Prime movie.
Yeah.
So I tried to watch it. I don't quite know why, but I've got to get that right.
Okay.
Sure.
But it's over on Amazon Prime. But Society of the Snow is available for all of us to watch.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Maybe.
Okay, and you say it's a goodie.
It is very good.
I'll do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it, guys.
Ye-
What a lovely day. What a
Thank
good day
you.
to be back.
Yeah.
It's lovely to see your faces.
Right.
Likewise,
Same.
likewise.
And it's lovely to get back at it. And I'm loving this.
Yeah.
And we are heading closer and closer to our 100th episode, which is very exciting.
Amazing.
Wild.
It's wild that we've managed to do all of this. Our home base is thevideostore.co.za. There you can see links to previous episodes and all our links to all our social media groups. Please chime in. Please let us know what you think of, especially Society of the Snow.
Yeah.
We want to talk about that this week and what you think of the chats. And we hope to see you again next week.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.